All right, so this is something we've been talking about for a while. It's not just a property podcast, it's not a self-help podcast either. It's really a conversation between two people building businesses, mainly in property, while navigating everything that comes with it. The mindset, the confidence dips, the ADHD, Tourette's, chronic pain, you name it, we talk about it. The stuff that actually shows up behind the scenes.
That's right, because being an entrepreneur isn't just about deals and numbers. I mean, it's mental. It's emotional, it's personal. And we realized that the conversations that we were having privately about business, about pressure, about identity, they're conversations that most people, they don't say out loud, but they can still relate to.
Exactly. So this is episode 0. It's a preview of what we're building.
Welcome to Mind Over Mortar, the Unpolished Path. So, I'll be honest. I've never felt like, okay, this could actually work more than this, because it's something that I've wanted to do for about 10 years, but I've never understood how to make it happen.
Yeah.
So, and you basically are like the only person in the world that understands how my brain works, I think. So it would be perfect, and you can articulate much better than me, which is perfect too. So that's good.
Appreciate that, man.
So, yeah, if we focus on basically being able to help anyone. So this is how it was phrased from Faggy, actually. This was brilliant. She was like, you've all got given a set of tools, and you have to learn how to use those tools. So, for example, obviously, Tourette's is quite a big deal. Now, that is a neuro disorder. I appreciate that. But the things that you take and the way that you manage it can then be applied to just people. Because everyone has got a set of tools, haven't they?
Yep.
When she told me that changed the way I thought about a lot of things, actually. Because it was suddenly like, all right, well, it's not a problem. It's just you've got to learn how to work your brain, haven't you? You've got to learn how to organise it and blah, blah, blah.
I get that. You're not sort of trying to skew it to one group of people. I get that. I think you'll find that most people in life will have suffered with anxiety or depression or ADHD or had mental health issues or struggles or something, and that really corresponds with sort of neurodiversity. So that's all I was saying. It doesn't have to again follow that strict narrative, but it's definitely, I think, an impact point for a lot of people. And in the same way that how we met, and you were discussing how you were finding that things were difficult for this reason, for that reason, and then I provided some pattern recognition for you, and you were like, hang on a minute, some dots are connecting here. Do you see what I mean? So it's
I'm well with it. So what we're doing, because obviously these things are already happening, aren't they? People are bringing these subjects up, like Faggy, like Samuel. We are then taking our own perspectives, and I would say bringing it all together. So they're talking about individual specific neurodiversity. We're basically taking all of them, because I think between you and me, we've got quite a bit.
Yeah, we've got half the alphabet, haven't we?
Exactly. So then we can utilize us being like the portal for all of these tools, all of these issues, and then we can start to bring in other people for their specifics, using our specifics as examples.
How do you feel about doing it in a structure like a series, like you mentioned, though? Because I quite like the idea of that. So like one of the things that came to my mind was, confidence versus capability, and then there could be like a 4-part episode, like 4 episodes, like, for 1 month, every week you release an episode. The first one could be why capable people doubt themselves, exploring like gaps between external and internal belief. And then the second episode could be like the fear of judgment and how it blocks action, how you imagine judgment becomes like a paralysis for some people, because that's something that like affects me, and I think everyone really.
Yeah. You just summed up my financial freedom challenge last week. That's what happened. That's what I was trying to explain on the stage.
Yeah. But it goes deeper,
I love that,
though, doesn't it? There's even more.
It does.
I mean, you can talk about how it shows up in work, money, property, home life, and like I say, the tools and reframes and lived examples of how it relates to us, and then speaks to the masses and other people who could relate to those things as well.
Definitely.
Like, as far as like the alignment of it, like this isn't about chasing an algorithm or monetization or anything like that. It's the as far as I'm concerned, the goal is to build something real that helps people understand themselves better. So if it can help us too, then that's just a byproduct and part of the point. of doing this. What makes it different is that we're not experts preaching solutions, basically, which is what I see all the time, everywhere, all over the internet. But we're just two people thinking out loud, reflecting honestly, and letting others see themselves in it, really. So the value is recognition and not instruction.
Correct. I don't. This is the one thing. This is the thing I hate about social media is it's very important for modern day life because it's basically the modern day yellow pages, isn't it?
Yeah.
However, it's then used and abused because everyone's an expert now.
Mm.
So sign up to my course and we'll help you deal with that. I don't want to do that. What I do want to do is I want to portray this image that we are people that want to help people. We want to help you. I
Yeah.
want to help you grow, and that's what it's about for me. So, and then it helps me control and monitor what I'm doing as well. It's accountability as well.
Yeah, definitely agreed. And like you said, business is the context; it's not the product. So, if people later want to work with us, that's because they trust how we think.
Exactly.
Some perspective on that for a second, okay? Because so you're only recently discovering a lot of this stuff for you, and it's making sense, yeah, right?
Yeah.
Whereas I've been diagnosed since I was like 7 years old, right? And I've had to live the majority of my life with this, and I've had to, live with that public perception of me and how it affects me day to day. So I've had to learn how to deal with people. I've had to learn how to read people, read signs, read body language, facial expressions, and be able to then gauge how I approach those people, how I talk to those people. So for me, it's become, I'm a kind of like a couple of decades ahead of you, if that makes sense. But it doesn't mean that I'm like more knowledgeable at all. That's not what I'm saying. It just means that, whereas you're in the discovery stage, I'm more of in a stage of my life where I can understand these pattern recognitions. I can understand the difficulties behind it and the misconceptions people might have, and be able to help people because I've been there, I've done that, I've lived that. So if I'm able to give back just some small remnants of of quality to someone else's life through an experience that I've been challenged with in my life, then I find that that's like part of my purpose here. Yeah.
So that leads me on to another subject, self-awareness. Some people are not self-aware,
Right.
so they don't understand these issues. What happens is they run with these issues and then run out of control, and it causes other problems. Now, this is something that has been a problem for me as well. I've always been aware that I'm maybe a little bit different, like something's going on, but then I get wound up with other people. So then I put that anger onto them, like I said, like I mentioned earlier. And then as I got older and I've tried to control it more, I've become more self-aware of what's going on, which obviously you have a massive self-awareness.
Mm.
So we could have a subject of self-awareness as well.
Yeah, do you know what we should call it?
Because, please.
Self-awareness disguised as ignorance.
Amazing.
How can you feel that productivity and that driving engine when you're working on shift work, you're working out at sea, you're away for 12 hours or so at a time? It's not viable. And I understood this as well, but I've only really understood it properly since I no longer work for my previous employer. It was only when I lost my job and I had to throw myself into this 100% that I went, okay, well, now I've got all the time to dedicate to this. And I found that actually it was easier than I thought because I had the time to spend on it. Whereas if you're giving most of your time to someone else, then you're always trying to play catch up, and then you always have that feeling of anxiety, like you're not doing what you should be doing, you're falling behind, and you're never going to break free from that all the time you're there. I'm certainly not telling you to quit your job, trust me, please don't do that. I'm just saying that when when you get to that point, the decision will either be made for you or you'll make it yourself. In my case, like I said, I'm a very strong believer in God, and I believe that before great success there is always a peril, and you have to be able to detoxify yourself from the things that are holding you back, and that's why you find that before great success, like, people disappear out of your life, friends that you had and colleagues or whatever, and every other distraction moves out of your way so that you can be laser focused on the task at hand and what's in front of you. Don't quit your job.
No, not yet, not yet.
No,
No,
not yet,
I haven't got
exactly.
I haven't got enough money in the bank at the minute to do that. So
Yeah, well, you and me both, mate.
yeah, if I did, I would have done by now, but I haven't. So this is the start of something we've been wanting to do for a long time. It's not polished, it's not scripted. It's just honest conversations as we figure things out in real time. If any part of this resonates with you going forward, then that's exactly the reason that we're doing it.
This is Mind Over Mortar, the Unpolished Path. We'll see you in the next episode.